Welcome, Survivor! Today we're going to be looking at spawn camping in Alpha 18 7 Days to Die. And no, of course not against other players. This is not a PvP game. Well, I guess you could, but no, that's not what we're going to look at. We're going to look at spawn camping the zombies. Of course, the best way to spawn camp is make sure you use a frag rocket. Ooh, look at that destruction. However, normally zombies don't really stand around quietly waiting for you to shoot them and slowly reload. So how are we going to accomplish this? Well, I'm glad you asked. But before we get into that, I would really appreciate if you subscribe to my channel if you enjoy the content. That really does help me to grow. And of course, if you like the video, even better. And if you really like my guides, hit that notification bell as well so you might get notified by YouTube when I post new videos. Which of course I do several times a week. And if you check on my channel page, you'll also see there's a join button. So click that one and have a look. I've recently enabled membership to my channel. And this is where you toss your local witcher some coffee money each month to support their content. Of course, you get some perks, access to my game servers and a special Discord role. Of course, it's optional. All my content is free. Well, let's pull back a little bit. What is spawn camping? Well, here's one definition. It's a technique used in gaming where a player or team positions themselves next to where players will respawn after dying and then kill them immediately after they spawn. And if we're not doing that in PvP setting with other players and we're going to do it with zombies, how the heck do we do that? And this is where my nice big testing area really comes in handy, because I've been doing a lot of testing about how do you get the zombies to spawn or not spawn. And of course the inverse, if you can tell them where not to spawn, can't you tell them where to spawn? And astute viewers in the past have actually highlighted this idea as well, which is, well, if I can make them not spawn in this whole area, and of course I spawn these manually, they wouldn't naturally spawn otherwise, can't I actually group them up and get them to spawn in a specific area? And that's what we're going to do here. Let's do kill all, die. So I've laid out a nice area here. I think it's, let's see how wide it is. Let me see, I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4. We can probably make it 6 wide. So we're going to go over to something like this. And it's going to be a 6 by whatever, and I'm going to fill this out with blocks so that I can actually have a spawnable surface. Of course, a spawnable surface means topsoil. If you've seen my other videos when I'm covering some of this, let me get rid of some rubbish here. I don't need this one. You will know that zombies will not spawn on concrete, or I guess flagstone, or these things like wood frames, water, unless you change it over to something like topsoil. I think gravel would work. Dirt definitely would work as well. In some other testing, asphalt also seems to allow spawns. So what I've done here, I've basically designated this huge area as a no spawn area. No wandering hordes, no blood moon hordes, no screamers, and no screamer spawns. But I put in this nice little strip that will allow spawns. So if I'm standing here, if I make sure we trigger a spawn, let's see, set time, let's do 600 and 2155, something like this. We should be getting in a blood moon horde here in just a moment. Let's have a look. Let's see if they spawn now. It also depends on the direction. So here, nope, wrong direction. If you here they finally come. Oh, that's weird. It took a while. I think what happens is that, let's see if it tells me. It doesn't. So what generally happens is that the game says, fine, I'm going to try to spawn something, and they may be picked over there. And then it's like, well, there's nothing to spawn there. So let me find another place over there. And then it says, nope, there's nothing in that direction. And then finally it comes to here, and it's like, okay, all right, I found a place to spawn. And you see, it's slowly spawning in the zombies. I'm going to let all the spawns complete. So this should be 16 concurrent. All right, finished. And let me get over here. You'll see all these are now spawning over here. There's nothing over here. There's nothing over here. Oh, there's one over there. I guess they all didn't spawn. But you can see it's all spawning on this topsoil. There's nothing spawning on the concrete. And that's helpful. And let me bring up the gamma a little bit so you can see a little bit better, otherwise it's going to be really dark video. So we know that they will spawn on this strip. The distance is a little bit harder to tell. What I've seen previously is that they will spawn up to about 30 blocks away from the players. So I've now measured out, it's about 30 blocks over here. So I believe, if I'm not wrong, they could spawn all the way up here. Almost anyway. It's a little bit give and take. I think there's some random function in there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this strip and I'm going to just build a wall all around it. And I'm going to put some poles here just to prevent them. And then we're going to kill all, and we're going to try this again to see are they still spawning within this area. As you see, we now have our steel cage, so they should be spawning somewhere in here, and I am going to drop down. Nope, let's drop down here so I have a better vantage point, and I'm going to kill all. Let's see, they should be spawning in again. Give me a moment. If we stand here and watch, we'll see that it is still spawning zombies in over here. It is a little bit slow. I would guess that it's because it really wants to spawn them somewhere else, fails, and then it finally finds this again, and it redoes that check every single time, I suspect, because it's a lot slower than I would expect otherwise. Normally just go tuk 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 tuk, but this takes longer. So I think this is it. Let's go back in here, and you see they're all nicely around. You see this is 30, this is 31, 32, something 33, I think, no, 30, 31, 32. So that's about what I've seen it be as far as spawns before. They're all coming in here. So now we know, and of course I have frozen the AI because otherwise they're all gonna run up here and bash things, but at least we can see that we can actually get them to spawn in an area. So the first part is completed. We can get an area designated where the zombies will all spawn, and of course that means that we can start spawn camping them. Okay, so I've switched out the poles here. They were on the wrong side. Obviously you want to keep them on this side so you can put some traps there. But you see, they're all coming here. Of course, some of these are spawning over here because I killed them, and they will respawn as far away as they can. But it means that if we trap this area, we should be able to start killing them as well. So let's get rid of these zombies. They're just in the way. We don't want to have all this noise. So I am going to start at looking at, let's see, we're going to have arrow slits. I don't think you necessarily always need steel, but steel will help. We're going to have electric fences because we're going to be bussing them. And we're going to, let me start by taking these things out. Let's see, let's do it too high. Let's start with, let's do 5. I think that will be probably pretty good. Or, nope, now I took one too many. Put this back, and I think that's 5. Yep, that should be good. We do need to, let's see here, let's use some normal concrete blocks here. This is where the dart trap's going to be. Here's where we're going to have the tripwires. So we're going to need some space a little bit behind here. You could probably do this a lot more. And again, this is just to show you the concept. This is, obviously, you don't want to make a huge area like this, but I'm trying to show the concept. So behind here, we're going to put, let's see here, we're going to put the electric fences, and we're going to put the tripwires. Wrong one. Let's do this, like that. Let's remove this one, and then here we have the electric fences again. Or, ooh, let's do it like that to make sure it's same way on both sides, and like this, and like this. Right. So now we have here, and we're going to put in a generator. Obviously need a generator bank here with some engine. 1 and 2. That probably should be enough. Let's do that. Put in 2 of them. Refuel. Turn on. 100 watt. That should be, yeah, that should be good. The way to do this is that we go from the generator bank to the tripwire. Generator bank to the tripwire. Generator bank, well, you get the point. We're going to connect all the tripwires here. I'm just going to show you one row of this, and you can basically just replicate it yourself to get everything to work. So from this tripwire, again, usual way across to the second tripwire. So now this one will trigger something, and we're going to trigger the electric fence. And this electric fence goes over to the first one, which we should be able to connect there. So now, if everything goes well, if I walk here, yep, it does trigger properly. But of course, we don't have any real other traps here. So let's put in the dot trap. And you might want to do... Oh, why does this one always turn? Oh, because I touched this one. Oh, okay. Fine. So we're going to do this and this. And the way to do it now is that you want to take it from the second tripwire. If you take it from the first one, it will never work. So you want to make sure this one is the one that provides the power when something happens, such as this one being triggered, the tripwire being triggered. So we take that one to the dart trap. Oh, and this is incorrect. What am I doing? What am I doing? It should be like, not like that. I would say butterfingers, but that's not quite the correct term. Do like this, yes, okay. So this tripwire, forget everything else, and go to this dart trap. This dart trap goes up. And then what I like to do is take from this dart trap just across as well. And it blends in sort of, and from this one up. So now if I fill up with darts on each side, it should start actually, well, shooting darts. We put in the last of the darts, so all 500 plus, well, 500 times 3. So if I step on here, and don't test this yourself because you might die. And in God mode, so it's a little bit easier. You see everything is shooting. You check, you see 497, correct. If they all have the same amount of ammo, it means that everything is being fired, and that deals a lot of damage. So I'm going to do exactly the same here. I'm going to hook up more rows here, and then we'll see how that works. I'm going to finish here, putting in darts in all of the dart traps, and bam. Make sure you lock the ammo. If you don't, they won't fire. So easy way to verify that you have everything. So you see we're on this side. So this side you should go from the generator to all the tripwires. Tripwires should have one outbound, and there should be one inbound to the electric fences, and that's on the right side. This side we should have obviously an inbound purple one to the tripwires you see on all of them. It should also have an outbound to the electric fence, and the electric fence should have one going across, correct? And there should also be one from the tripwire coming to the dot trap. And of course you'll see that I have not connected these ones across, so let me make sure I do that. If you do this step by step and you sort of follow the colors and the lines, it'll be a little bit easier, because you'll know that, hey, if there's a yellow going this way, you know it's been connected. If there's no yellow like here, you know it hasn't been connected. And then connecting the ones internal is a little bit harder because you can't see. But what I normally do, I just connect from here to here, here to here, here to here, etc. and do that on both sides, so I know that that part has been done. And as you saw before, the way to verify is that if they have the same amount of ammo, you know they're all firing. If you start this and you run and you realize that this one is not firing, means it's probably not getting triggered, which means that you should be taking from here, right? Make sure you set up everything the same way. So how do we know this works? Well, we don't yet. We don't. So let's try something else. Let's do 25 Darleads here. Oh, we should have gotten the feral ones. But all right, this works just a little bit slower. Hello, Darlene. Thank you very much. You see, the first one is firing, and some of them make it to the second. I don't think they'll make it to the third. Oh, no, this one made it to the third. It really depends on if they're radiated or not, but they all died. We can't get the loot, unfortunately, but, you know, it's one of those things. Let's get some radiated. Oh, here we go. Here we got a bunch of them. They have more hit points, so they might last longer. Yep, they're all coming up here. Good, perfect. Oh yeah, and now they're up here. The good thing about using poles is that for purpose of pathfinding, the zombies, at least in Alpha 18, seem to see poles as well. They don't actually see them, so they think this is an open path, but they can't obviously walk past it because it's blocking. So that's why they start bashing when they reach the pole wall. But this worked. I mean, obviously, this is just a limited test, but if we then go and check everything here, we'll see 488, 950, 500, 493, all the same. If we go to this one, 465, and you see it's all the same, which means that all these are firing. And if I check the other side, you'll probably see the same as well. So you can verify that as well. So I'm just gonna throw some paint on this. Now, of course, we're not entirely done. We need to block off here as well so that the zombies don't... let me grab all this loot. So that the zombies don't actually go here, because that's really important, because then they might just try to break through here as well, which is not what we want. So we're going to put some arrow slits here. If you recall, dart traps can shoot through arrow slits just fine. And if you're worried about the dart traps cross-firing and breaking each other, then rest assured it doesn't happen. While the XMLs does have a field for block damage, they actually don't damage other blocks, they only damage entities. So I think that's probably about it. I think we have everything here. We have our generator that is on. I put in a couple of extra engines, and I believe this should be enough. Zombies come up here, they spawn here, they run here, and they should be dying. So I'm actually going to stand over here. Cops might be vomiting, but you know, that's not an issue we're looking at right now. Let me, I'm going to get a zoomed in scope weapon so I can actually have a better look, and then I'm going to run a Blood Moon Horde. Alright, Horde is about to begin, and there it is. Now let's see what happens. I'm scoping in here. Oh yeah, 2 have spawned in, and they're obviously taking damage. This one now is being crippled. I think that's why he's walking so slowly. Another one spawned right there and triggered immediately. We have white radiator. We do have a cop here that I wonder if he's gonna... Nope, he's not gonna vomit at me, maybe because I'm too far away. Oh, look at them being spawn camped. Now, of course, some of them are spawning slightly behind here, which is fine. If they spawn right here, even better, because then they just die faster. They don't actually have to run. Some of them are gonna be... I mean, if you did it like 10 or 15 long, then you would be killing them as soon as they spawn in. Like this one. He spawned in, immediately hit the tripwire, which set off the electric fence, which set off the darts, and... Oh, and look at this. Look at the experience that will be coming in. Of course, this is 16 concurrent, and the higher concurrency you have, the more zombies you actually would get. So this seems to work really well. Let me reset this and try out with 64 concurrent. I don't know how that's going to look, but we'll try it out. And the new Blood Moon Horde has come, and this is with 64 concurrent. Let's see how that goes. It might still be fairly slow to spawn them in. So even with 64 concurrent, they're not really fast. I still believe it's because they're trying to spawn somewhere else on the map, and it takes some time before they realize that this is the only place they can spawn. But it definitely works, but it does mean that if you want to really take advantage of a high concurrent zombie spawn, you probably will have to maybe make a couple of corridors. Maybe even in different directions, because you notice here it's not really faster than when it was 16. It's just never getting to there. It gets to 3 and then it's dead. Here's another one. You see there's 2 concurrent, 3 concurrent, 4 concurrent. Now it's down to 3 or 4 again. So maybe 4 or 5 is going to be roughly the limit, because they die so fast. They don't even have a chance to actually go up to... See, they could be a lot more. The max alive 159 was going to be capped at 64 by the server. And yeah, so that doesn't make a huge difference. So yeah, but it works really well. You see, they all come in and they all die at the front, and I can just stand there the whole night. It seems to be far enough that the cops don't actually vomit, which is good. Let me move a little bit closer here with the camera. I still have the usual spot. I'm standing over there. Can I? Yeah, if I do this, I can actually show that. But you see this is how it looks from the back. And oh, and okay, now it's getting hit. I think he was a little bit too far ahead. I mean, he's too skinny, but he's definitely taking damage. And they are spawning around here anyway. But now we're back here, and yeah, I can pretty much just stand here the whole night, and if I wanted to, because I do have a scope, I can just do some headshots as well, because they're nicely slowed down by the electric fences. Come on, give me some more. They come up, I wait for them a little bit, and then I try to headshot them. Depending, the poles maybe are in the wrong, location a little bit. Maybe if I shifted them so that they're at the bottom, then will give me a better view of their heads, because they seem to be a bit hidden here, which is a little bit annoying. But you can see there's no way that they're going to actually be able to get out of here, because between me shooting manually and between the dart traps firing and the electric fences, now that just takes care of them so well. So as you can see, we are spawn camping the zombies. Now, isn't this nice? Really turning the tables on the zombies and doing something that you maybe never thought about that you could do. Spawn camp zombies. Really unfair, isn't it? They have no way of getting to you, because regardless of which Blood Moon Horde it is, they can't get anywhere here. They can only spawn at the front. And if we're using the dart traps, we'll be able to take care of them really easily. And of course, you can stand there, just get some little bit of experience and just practice your shooting a bit. And I probably do need some practice here, because I'm not terribly good at shooting at a distance. Some people are a lot better at sniping than I am. Now, obviously, this is just a concept. There's no way you're going to be able to make this. If you look on the map, this is 200 by, let's say 600. Almost 150 block by 150 block. And of course, you will not be placing that down in survival. However, there are actually ways around that as well without cheating. So we're going to take this concept that seems to work really well. Even 64 concurrent zombies, no issue at all, because they can't actually spawn in fast enough. But we're going to take this concept next video, or next base build video, and we're going to do this in a really survival way where you actually can accomplish it. And we're going to see, can we make it as effective as it is now, while also maybe giving us a way to do our looting as well, because there's probably going to be a lot of loot here. Because if I, let's see, if I run up here, let's fly up a little bit faster. If I go up here, yes, I can go up and loot here, but you'll see a problem even with my build here. Let me see. If I go up here too close, yep, you'll see them spawning over here. Oh yeah, which is obviously not what you want, because it's not big enough, and you don't want that at all. No, die. Let's kill all of them. You don't want all of them to be outside, which would happen if you have something like this. So we need a way to get to all the loot, but also still keeping them inside our little area here, and keep on killing them. So we'll look at that as well next time. And how does it work with the Demolisher? Well, no problem at all. Headshot, really good. Shooting him works. And just let the dart traps do that thing as well, because they do massive damage. So to be honest, I've never seen anyone spawn camping zombies before, so this, at least for me, is the first time ever. Have you ever seen anyone spawn camping zombies like I am here? And if you haven't, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that like, and let me know in the comment section below what you think I should be doing for doing this really in survival. I have some ideas myself, but maybe you have an idea that is even better. But stay tuned for that. Poor zombies. Oh, it feels so cheesy. Oh, just spawn camping them all night. Oh, they have no chance at all. Poor zombies. Not often that I say it, but yeah, poor zombies. It's just not fair. See you next time.
Special thanks to the great patrons supporting the channel. If you would like to join the vetted community and support these videos, do follow the Patreon link.